Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Robert West. The topic of today's video is going to be, is America's economy crashing due to bad policies? But before we start, I just want to thank all the new viewers to the channel. Really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. It doesn't cost anything. Helps the channel get the information out there. It helps us grow a little bit. All right, let's get into this. So, how is our economy getting worse? That's the first question we want to look at. Well, I think we need to start a little bit with inflation. We're at somewhere around like 2.7, 2.75%. It's not horrible, but it's not good. Now, here is part of that. Jobs. Jobs report came out the other day. Said for July, we only grew 73,000 jobs. Okay. The expectation was close to 200,000 jobs we were going to gain. But also, not only that, but they revised the past 2 months. And the jobs reports revised showed, a very low amount of jobs created in May and June. Very low amount. I think 1 month was 14,000. One month was, I don't know. I don't remember what it was, to be honest with you right now. But so what's causing the slowdown of growth? There's only one thing that you can point to. Donald Trump and his policies. Now, what policies are we talking about? His tax policy. He likes to call them tariffs, which in most cases he has no authority to impose on anyone. This is a power that was reserved in the Constitution for Congress. However, he's been claiming under a certain law that there's some type of national emergency, and he's imposing all kinds of tariffs on many different countries across the board, claiming many different things and many different reasons. And they're all bogus, every one of them. He's saying we got trade deficits. Well, yeah, most industrial countries do have trade deficits. Example, do you think that a country the size of Mexico is going to buy as many goods from us as we buy from them? We've got like triple their population. India, their income levels are much lower. They have a big population, that's true, but their income levels are much lower. And we can go on and on and on and on. But here's the examples of what I mean by these tariffs. Our good friends Canada. Trump has decided to impose a 35% tariff on all their goods that are not covered by the Mexico-Canada agreement. This is a lot of products, 35%. And unlike Trump's lies that say that the foreign country is paying these things, that's not true. The importer is paying the tax, the tariff. So the country will send the goods to the United States, and the United States will have to pay that tax. The importer, whoever ordered the goods, will have to pay that tax to the United States government. So you are being taxed multiple rates. Canada, 35%. Mexico, 25%. India, 25%. Brazil, 50%. Brazil, we actually have a trade surplus with. But because Donald Trump doesn't like the politics in Brazil, he's decided to impose a 50% tariff on Brazil. Have you been to the store recently, the grocery store in the United States? Have you noticed the cost of Brazilian coffee has gone up? A lot, quite a bit. Why? Tariffs. Now, what happens with these tariffs? It harms U.S. businesses. What do I mean by that? It harms businesses in every way. If you have to pay a 25% tariff on any imported steel, a 50% tariff on any copper, etc., etc., what's happening is, let's use the example of building a new home. You have to use these materials. And that's where your supply chain comes from. You know, we don't supply everything to the world like we did maybe 100 years ago. Many things other countries can produce a lot cheaper and then send it to us, versus us producing it ourselves, and the cost will be much greater. So when new builders are building new homes, or even when you're remodeling a home and you need to use some of these commodities to remodel the home, the costs go up. And then those costs are passed along to the consumer. You are being taxed in a way that we've never been taxed pretty much in history. And Donald Trump pretends it's something other than it actually is. You're not punishing these other countries. You're punishing people who buy goods in the United States. That's who's being punished. And when he claims all these revenues are coming in, yeah, because he's taxing more. He's taxing you more. Wasn't that the Republican Party's mantra just 10 or 15 years ago? Low taxes. This is not a low taxer. This is one of the highest taxers in history. So the idea that these tariffs are doing something great for the country, they're not. It's caused businesses to go under, especially businesses that have to produce and manufacture goods in another country, such as China and other places. These high tariffs kill the margins. Some of these goods cannot support the additional tariffs. You know, if these goods are making a 10,000% margin, then they have some room, of course. But adding 15 or 25% or 50%, it just doesn't, it's not going to work. So that's what's going on. Now, let's go back to the jobs. Keep in mind, now you'll see some talking heads from the administration on TV saying, look, see, these tariffs are in place and they're not doing this and that and the other. Let me tell you something. Trump has backed down and backed off tariff implementation dates multiple times. So we still have never had the full effect of the tariffs. But as they start coming in, we're noticing less and less economic growth, less job creation, and we are losing jobs, manufacturing jobs, which was the claim that why he's doing it. Many of these tariffs are for political purposes, has nothing to do with even trade deficits. Now, just to give update on the court process, Federal Trade Court several months ago ruled that these Trump tariffs were illegal. It's now at a federal appeals court. They heard arguments the other day about this. They're going to find that these tariffs are illegal under the statute Trump's using. The emergency that he claims exists doesn't exist. It's just made up, like most of his presidency. All his complaints are made up. There's nothing real to most of the things he's talking about. But that's what happens when the man who you've elected, not me, I didn't elect this man, I've never voted for him once and never would, lies about everything. He lies about a stolen election. He lies about the insurrectionists. He just lies. This is his whole life. He cheats on his wife. He cheated on his taxes. He cheated the state of New York. He still owes them over $500 million. Okay, $500 million. He cheated a lot of contractors that did work for him and he never paid. I met a guy personally who used to live in New York, who he owes, the guy told me, like $30,000. This is back in the 80s. Of course, he never paid him. That's how Trump operates. Now, after all the stuff that's going on, he's actually taking a victory lap saying all his economic policies are working. Well, if your goal was to raise prices and harm American businesses and American consumers, I agree with him. Your policies are working. But if the goal is to lower prices and make conditions better for U.S. businesses and consumers, this is an F. This effort is an F. And the people that support him in his administration are the grifters. They think that by kissing up to this guy, he's going to make you lots and lots of more money. And by that bill he just passed, with Congress's compliance, they are. The taxes went down. They've taken away health care from people. They're taking away food assistance. They're taking away a lot of stuff. Is our deficit and debt going to go down? No, it's growing. So this man is a tax and spender, but he only spends on what he wants to spend. He thought it's a good idea to spend $200 million to build a ballroom at the White House. How does that benefit you? Just a question. How does it benefit you? Is he inviting you to go ballroom dancing with him at the White House? I don't think so. So it does nothing for the average person. In fact, it harms the average person. He would rather kill programs that help people and build this ballroom because of his ego. We got to spend $1 billion on his free plane that he's going to get to keep once he leaves office. That's what's going on with this guy. So the economics are bad. They're going to get worse. And his sycophants will keep supporting him no matter what he does. But this Epstein scandal may be what's needed to knock him down a few pegs, because there's nothing he's doing that makes any sense to help the people of this country. It's only hurting the people of this country. He wants to take away health care, and then he wants to build concentration camps to put migrants who haven't even been convicted of crimes are being treated worse than convicted felons sitting in prison. Think about that. That's where we're spending our tax money. That's it for this one, guys. Hope you're having a good day. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. It doesn't cost anything. Feel free to comment, like, share. We'll see you in the next video.